Hey guys, welcome back to Micho Makes. My name is Micho. I like to make stuff. Today we've got part number 102 on the Toyota Sprinter Trueno AE86 by DeAgostini. This is the 1/8 scale massive model that we're building together. Without further ado, let's just jump right into this one. Alright, starting off we got our cover here. We've got a box. We've got our part. And it looks like we have the front fender, and that looks like if it's on the Japanese side, it's going to be the passenger side, but in America it would be the driver's side. And we've got our magazine. All right, let's check out the magazine. Okay, let's check it out. All right, so it looks like we have an article on Toyota steering solutions, steering racks and everything. Kind of a evolution of that, and let you guys take a read at that if you'd like. But they just mostly talk about rack and pinion sets and then hydraulic versus pneumatic systems too as well. Let you just kind of read over that if you'd like to pause. Pretty standard rack and pinion, but obviously if it's direct drive like this, it'd be really hard to turn the wheels. Usually manual steering racks have that, so that you actually don't really get that much assistance. But and actually, the AE86 did have a manual steering rack, and a lot of the car enthusiast guys want that system, because when you use a hydraulic system like this, you actually get less turn in the wheels. So let's say if this is the front of the wheel and this is the rear of the wheel, you're limited to the amount of actual turning radius that you get from the power steering. So guys will actually look for manual steering racks which have really no assistance on here, something like this, because you get much more turning radius. You actually can see the wheels turn a lot more, and if you're drifting or doing any kind of auto sport like that, the manual steering rack is something that people really desire. There are electronic driven ones, like right here. This has an ECU here, torque motor. It's like a motor and a torque kind of converter to assist in turning the wheels. These are, I believe, the slowest, because you do have a lot of computers. You have to make sure that radius is right, and then you're limited by these motors. The pneumatic is probably faster, but again, you're sacrificing the ability to have direct feedback, and also it's pneumatic power steering is really great for parking, right? But if you want to talk about speed and all that, everybody wants the manual racks, just because you get more play and turning radius when it comes down to actually being able to drive the car in autocross settings or whatever. It is more of a pain in the butt. Pneumatic systems obviously have a lot more. You have the power steering pump. You have reservoirs. You have a system too as well that can brake. And a lot of people take them out because of weight savings, but also the fact that you get less turning radius. Same thing with electronic ones too as well. Something else to brake, and that's why people like the manual ones, especially in race cars. All right, moving on. All right, we have a article on the Toyota Century here. Now, don't know too much about these. I know these VIP cars, I would say, have a lot of fans, and being able to be just hyper luxurious, really for CEOs, guys who own companies. Very plush, very smooth ride, very, very limited amount of road noise. And you can look at this interior, just how much this is just for a really, really important person. Really big engines, really smooth, usually V8, sometimes V10s. Huge engines. Because they want smooth as possible, right? They want to reduce road noise and really have a VIP treatment. So take a look at that. And then we get right into the part. Looks like we have our front fender here. Doing assembly on the side. Skirts here, just a light too as well. Looks like we're actually installing it too, so it should be pretty quick. Yeah, pretty straightforward it looks like. And then we have a little side article on, I guess, door technology. So like different types of door. I guess this is one that Toyota invented too as well. But if you can see right here, it's a little strange. It doesn't just hinge like normally. I guess this is on, I'm trying to remember what vehicle this said on there. But it's definitely on like one of their higher end vehicles. But you can see it kind of push itself forward on the hinge mechanism. I guess it allows people the ability to get out maybe entire spaces, but also kind of it's pretty unique hinge design for their doors. So yeah, pretty cool. You can take a look at that article if you like. All right, let's jump right in the part. All right, starting off, we've got our fender here. Take a look at that. Really high quality. It's all metal. Ooh, okay, got a little gash here on the side, but pretty common for even like normal vehicles, but a little annoying in a brand new model. I literally just pulled out of the packaging that this got a little gash there. Might want to touch that up just a little bit. You can see it's marked L for left side here. Got another metal bracket piece here. We'll see where that goes in just a second. So you have the corner light reflective piece. You can see the hole where the light will go inside too as well. Got the amber lens here for the corner light too. It looks like part of the side skirt. Again, a little bit of quality issues you can see right there. And we've got some AP screws and some CM screws right there. And that's our part today. All right, let me get set up and we'll get started. All right, for my sake and my sanity, I took a little model paint and touched up that corner. Looks a lot better than that little white gash we had there. The black doesn't match perfectly, but you know what? It's better than the little white exposure there. So let that dry for just a second and then we'll get started. All right, after a few minutes of letting the paint dry, the first step we're doing is grabbing the piece of trim here and just placing it like so. I want to make sure I have it in the right orientation to them. It's a press fit, and then I actually did clean that up just a little bit right there. Oh, it's actually pretty tight. Doesn't fit exactly. There's a little bit of a gap there. But honestly, nobody's really going to be looking on that side. Looks like that. You can see where we did the cleanup too as well, so that looks pretty good too. All right, next part is actually we're going to taking the amber light here and placing it in this direction on the back side, just like that. And then we take our reflective piece here. I think we place it just like so. Yeah, look at that. Looks pretty good. And we're going to grab a CM screw. Oops, I'm going to grab this too. And attach it to this point right here. All right, that's attached. Now we take our little bracket that we have. I'm just trying to figure out this orientation as well. I think it goes in this direction. Actually, they make it kind of idiot-proof too, but I'm an idiot, so I want to make sure I do it correctly. Oh yeah, okay. That's actually what's really nice is that they actually have these recess points here, and then these are protruded out. Really one way to place that, just like that. And we're going to be using some CM screws as well. Awesome. And they just want to verify that everything looks nice and even on this side here. Cool. And we have a bunch of CM screws left over, but we actually need to pause here because we got to grab the model, because that's all we have going on for this side right now. So give me 1 second while I get the model. All right, got the model back here, but I just realized something else. Like, we have AP screws too, and where does that go? So actually, the AP screws that we have here are a piece of the set, and they actually go on that piece of trim. I just realized that re-looking at the instructions. So this is the piece of the trim that we just installed. AP screws actually go on the back side right here. All right, that's installed now. Now that actually looks really flush too. That's great. Okay, so we have the model here. Let's make sure it's in frame for you guys to see. We actually just kind of placed this right here on the corner. And then what we need to do is actually get on the back side. So after placing this, we need to actually flip this around and screw in on this side. So I'll just completely flip this over. And we have the connection points all right here. And we use those CM screws that we have. All right, with those 5 screws, let's take a peek at it, the front fender. Oh, wow. Look at that. The hood is very tight fit, which actually is really cool, really good panel gap actually. So it does fold up, but man, that is actually like perfect. You can see how nice that front fender looks. Look at that. We are getting so close. That was a quick part though. So that is part number 102 of the Toyota Sprinter Trueno AE86 by DeAgostini. You can see that front fender, pretty quick to put on, but it's a really key part, right? This is the passenger side, but you can see how these body lines are really looking good. Just look at the paneling too, the gap on the door. That is so precise. Like, let's roll this window up just a little bit, you know. Ooh, we ran into a little problem with the window. There it is. Look at that. Look how nice that looks. Super cool. All right, well, let's take a look and see what's going to go on in part number 103. And oh, surprise, the other side. That one should be pretty quick as well. I don't think it's going to take that long. So stay tuned for that next week. Again, my name is Micho Mix. Thanks, guys, for sticking with us. We are really close. We're on the home stretch right now. So we'll see you guys in the next one. If you haven't liked the video, comment, subscribe. Really helps the channel grow. Really do appreciate you. See you guys next time. Bye for now.